Right at this moment, as you read this, millions of men are dying inside in relationships where they give everything and receive crumbs. They are trapped in an invisible prison they themselves built, brick by brick, favor by favor, excuse by excuse. You are one of them. Society told you that being a good man means always being available, always giving in, always prioritizing her. But the brutal truth is that this doormat behavior is literally killing your masculinity and destroying any chance of genuine respect. The system wants you weak, submissive, always asking for permission to exist. Let me tell you about Charles, 40 years old business owner, a man who built something from scratch. At the office, he commanded 50 employees, made multi-million-dollar decisions. He was respected, even feared. At home, an empty shell. Every argument with Martha ended the same way. She would yell. He would fall silent. She would raise her voice. He would apologize. She would humiliate him in front of their children. He would pretend everything was fine. The signs had been there for years. Early in their marriage, there were small criticisms. You didn't carry the groceries right. You forgot to turn off the faucet. Minor things he brushed off, thinking he was being understanding, but the criticisms escalated. You're incompetent. You can't do anything right. The kids are ashamed of you. Each insult was a stab he absorbed in silence, convincing himself that strong men endure everything quietly. One day at his birthday dinner, she started criticizing his business decisions in front of their friends. She said he was incompetent, that he couldn't manage anything. She brought up mistakes from 10 years ago, distorting facts, rewriting history to paint him as a walking failure. Their friends were embarrassed. Some tried to change the subject. Others stared at their plates, pretending not to hear. Charles? He smiled and changed the subject. Martha has always been direct, he said, trying to turn humiliation into a virtue. That night, alone in his office, he cried for the first time in 20 years. Not tears of sadness, tears of rage, of disgust at himself. It's over. You're probably thinking this is extreme, that your case is different. But that's exactly what every victim thinks. The truth nobody tells you is that you're operating in the relational value market and you're selling your product for pennies. You are literally devaluing yourself with every unanswered message you send, every unilateral favor you do, every time you swallow your opinion to avoid conflict. The system doesn't want you to know this. Think of it like a financial market. When a stock is always available, always cheap, always easy to acquire, what's its perceived value? 0. Now think of a scarce stock, difficult to get, with high demand and limited supply. Its value explodes. You've become the first stock, always available, always cheap, always easy. And she knows it. Every time you respond immediately, every time you cancel your plans, every time you give in without resistance, you are confirming your abundance. And abundance in the relational market is synonymous with devaluation. There are 7 specific tactics women use, consciously or not, to test if you are a man of value or just another disposable doormat, and you are failing at all of them. First tactic, the punching bag effect. She unloads her day's frustrations on you. Her boss was rude. You listen for an hour. Every detail, every injustice, every microaggression, you absorb it all like an emotional sponge. Her friend disappointed her? You become the therapist. But when you need to vent, she's busy, tired, not the right time. You always complain, she says, reversing reality. You accept it. You always accept it. She yells at you for leaving a towel on the floor and you apologize as if you've committed a federal crime. Meanwhile, her clothes have been scattered all over the bedroom for a week, but you don't mention it. You don't want to create a problem. Every time this happens, her respect for you dies a little more. It's a slow murder of your masculinity, and the murderer is you handing over the weapon and showing where to aim. You know I'm right. Second tactic, the validation agenda. You buy gifts for no occasion, flowers every week, imported chocolates, jewelry that strains your budget. You send flowers to her work so everyone sees how romantic you are. But it's not romance, it's perfume desperation. You cancel your plans to always be available. That Friday night pickup game? Cancelled. The barbecue with friends? Called off. The visit to your parents? Postponed. Always for her. Always. You think you're being romantic. She knows you're desperate. Every unsolicited gift, every excessive gesture, every pathetic attempt to impress, communicates one single thing on the relational battlefield. You don't think you're enough. You need to buy her love because you don't believe you deserve it naturally. And if you don't believe it, why should she? It's basic emotional math. The more you try to compensate with external gestures, the more you confirm your internal inadequacy. Third tactic, the challenge vacuum. She chooses the movie. Always. Even when it's the fifth romantic comedy in a row that you hate. She chooses the restaurant, always. That expensive Japanese place you detest but never admit. She decides when you have sex. Always. You're always ready, always available, always rejected with the same excuse. I'm not in the mood. But when she is, you have to be, immediately, or it's guaranteed drama. You never disagree, never have a strong opinion, never put up resistance. Do you remember the last time you suggested something and stuck to it? You don't even remember, because it didn't happen. You timidly suggest, she rejects. You immediately agree. Whatever, you say. The important thing is that we're together. But it's not whatever. You wanted to see that action movie. You wanted to go to that bar with your friends. You wanted to have sex that night. But you buried your desires so deep that you forgot where they are. You are a walking ghost in your own life. Weak men agree with everything. Men of value have opinions. Desperate men avoid conflict. Respected men face friction. Which one are you? You don't have to answer, she already knows. Some will rationalize by saying they're being understanding or avoiding unnecessary fights. That's exactly how doormats justify their cowardice. Healthy conflict is the oxygen of a living relationship. Without it, you are merely coexisting until death. A slow, silent, suffocating death where you die a little with each whatever, each you choose, each I have no opinion. Fourth tactic, the investment inversion. Count how many messages you sent this week. Now count how many she sent. The ratio is revealing, isn't it? 10 to 1? 20 to 1? Count how many times you initiated contact, how many times you planned the date, looked for the restaurant, made the reservation, drove to her, paid the bill, how many times you drove to her versus how many times she drove to you. The math doesn't lie. You are investing like a CEO while she invests like an intern. In the relational value market, whoever invests more has less power. It's basic economic law. Supply and demand. You are offering everything. She is demanding everything. And you are bankrupt from investing so much in stocks that only depreciate. Every unanswered message is a drop in your value. Every unreturned call is a crash in your personal market. Nobody tells you this, but she knows. Instinctively, she knows that a man who values himself doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't send "Hi, how are you?" every 3 hours. He doesn't make excuses to start. Conversations. I saw this and thought of you for the 10th time this week. She knows you have nothing else going on in your life, that you're sitting around waiting for her to reply, that you check WhatsApp every 30 seconds to see if she's read it. Fifth tactic, the fixer syndrome. Is she sad? You need to fix it. Immediately. Drop everything you're doing. Is she stressed? You need to mend it. Find the problem, find the solution, implement the plan. Is she dissatisfied? You take the blame, even when it has nothing to do with you, especially when it has nothing to do with you. You've become her emotional maintenance department, working 24/7, no days off, no pay. An eternal on-call emotional support. She doesn't even need to process her own emotions, because you're always there, ready to absorb everything, ready to solve everything, ready to fix what isn't even broken. You are not her partner. You are her emotional trash can, her psychological punching bag, her unpaid therapist. And the worst part? You volunteered for this position. You campaigned to be elected, and now you can't resign. That's a lie. You think you're helping, you're destroying her. Ability to be resilient. Every time you solve a problem she should solve, you confirm she's incapable. Every time you absorb an emotion she should process, you hinder her growth, and you're destroying your own sanity in the process, becoming anxious, worried, always on alert for the next problem, the next crisis, the next drama you'll have to resolve. Sixth tactic, the absence of boundaries. 3 in the morning. You're asleep. She calls crying because she fought with a friend about something trivial, something that could wait. But you answer, you always answer. You spend 2 hours comforting, advising, validating. The next day you're destroyed at work, but she doesn't even ask how you are. You're in an important meeting, a crucial presentation, months of preparation. She texts you, wanting attention. "I'm bored. What are you doing? Why does it take you so long to reply?" You reply. You lose focus. It harms your performance. But she needs attention, and you always provide it. You've had plans with friends for months, that trip, that concert, that event that only happens once a year. She wants to do something, anything, it doesn't matter what. What matters is that it's on the same day. You cancel, you make up an excuse, you lie to your friends. Again, they don't even invite you anymore. They know you'll cancel. You've become the friend who disappeared, the guy who traded his buddies for his girl. And they're right. Your boundaries are non-existent. Your life is occupied territory. She invaded, conquered, and now rules with an iron fist. Your time isn't yours. Your energy isn't yours. Your plans aren't yours. You exist to serve, to be available, to meet demands. And you still think this is love. This isn't love. It's voluntary slavery. It's chosen submission. It's death in life. And the worst part? You signed the contract. You renewed it every day, with every yes when you wanted to say no, with every "it's fine" when it wasn't, with every "no problem" when there was. Seventh tactic, the excess of availability. You are always free for her, always, no matter what you were doing. The gym, it can wait. Work, you'll figure it out. Family, they understand. Sleep, coffee will fix it. Your entire life revolves around being available for her. Your time has no value, your energy is infinite. Your commitments are negotiable. She has learned that you are a guaranteed resource like tap water. Whenever she turns it on, you'll be there, gushing attention, time, energy, resources, without questioning, without resisting, without running out. Scarcity creates value. Abundance creates contempt. You have become so abundant that you have completely lost your value. It's basic economics that any child understands, but you choose to ignore it. And you're going to do nothing, because deep down, you're afraid. Afraid of being alone. Afraid of losing her. Afraid of not finding another. Afraid of not being enough. Afraid of being who you really are. So you continue performing, acting, pretending, being the nice guy, the understanding one, the one who never creates problems, the one who always gives in, the one who is always there and dying inside, slowly, painfully, voluntarily. You're thinking that if you set boundaries, she'll leave you. Let me tell you a secret the system doesn't want you to know. If she leaves you for having healthy boundaries, she never loved you. She loved what you did for her. She loved the control. She loved the convenience, but she never loved you because you never showed her who you really are. You showed a performance, a character created to please. The system wants you this way, weak, malleable, always guilty, always insufficient. The couples therapy industry tells you to communicate more, but never teaches you how to communicate boundaries. The media romanticizes the man who does everything for the woman, but never shows the contempt in her eyes 3 years later. The legal system favors those who position themselves as victims, and you are trained to be the voluntary executioner. Look at John, 32 years old, financial analyst, organized life, his own apartment, car paid off. But with Anna, a walking disaster. He paid all the bills, all of them. Her rent, her credit card, the monthly groceries. "It's temporary," she'd say, "until I get stable." 3 years of temporary. He planned all the trips, researched hotels, bought tickets, created itineraries. She would show up with her suitcase packed, sometimes not even that. "I forgot to pack," she'd say. He would buy clothes for her at the destination. He gave in on every argument, every single one. She wanted to move in together. They moved, even though he knew it was too soon. She wanted a dog. They bought one, even though he was allergic. She wanted him to stop seeing certain friends. He stopped. "They're a bad influence," she'd say. Anna treated him like an ATM with legs. One day, after paying for yet another expensive dinner while she was on her phone the whole time, responding to other guys' stories, laughing at things he wasn't included in, something broke inside him. It wasn't dramatic. It was silent, like an internal snap, a shift in frequency. On their next outing, he suggested splitting the bill. She was shocked. "You've changed," she said. "You're not romantic anymore. "You don't love me anymore." She tried to create drama, cried in the restaurant. People stared. He held his ground, calm, firm. "Let's split it," he repeated. She complained to her friends, made indirect posts on Instagram, tried to make him jealous by going out with others. But something interesting happened. 2 weeks later, she planned a date. For the first time in 2 years, she chose the restaurant, made the reservation, offered to pay. "I want to do something special for you," she said. "The truth they hide from you. When you stop being always available, you become scarce. When you become scarce, you become valuable. When you become valuable, you become desired." Is it manipulation? No. It's reality. It's how the world works. It's how it has always worked. But they convinced you that true love is different, that true love has no games. A lie. Everything in life is a negotiation of value. Everything. Peter, 28 years old, university professor, masters in literature, cultured, intelligent, articulate guy. With Louisa, an emotional idiot. Professionally friend-zoned for 3 years. 3 years. He helped with assignments, revised articles, wrote entire parts of her dissertation. "You explain it better," she'd say. He listened about other guys, all the sordid details. The guy who didn't call back, the one who cheated, the one who was emotionally unavailable. Peter listened to everything, advised, consoled, waiting for his turn, thinking that one day she would realize the right guy was there all along. Always available, always understanding, always rejected. "You're like a brother to me. I don't want to ruin our friendship. You're too special to risk." One day he said, "No, I can't help you with that." Simple, direct, no explanation, no justification. She was confused. Why? "I just can't." She tried to insist, sent messages, called. He maintained the no. He started dating other women, women who saw him, who desired him, who respected him. He posted photos, not to make her jealous, to live. He lived his life, gym, friends, hobbies he had abandoned, buried personal projects. Louisa started sending messages. "You disappeared. I miss you. Can we talk?" She started getting jealous. "Who's that on your Instagram?" She started seeing him. For the first time in 3 years, she saw him. Not the emotional friend, not the guaranteed support. The man, with value, with a life, with options. "I always liked you," she said. "I was just scared." A lie. She never liked the doormat. She started to like the man who said, "No, you give in." She tests more. You give in again. She loses respect. You beg. She despises you. You accept. She controls you. It's over. It's a cycle. A predictable, mathematical, inevitable cycle. Every time you give in where you shouldn't, you confirm that your boundaries are negotiable. Every time your boundaries are negotiable, she pushes more. It's human nature. It's not malice. It's a test. A constant test of how far she can go. And you, by having no boundaries, say she can go to infinity. Some of you are thinking this is manipulation, that it's selfishness. That's exactly the programming that keeps you trapped. Having boundaries is not manipulation. It's survival. Having self-worth is not selfishness. It's sanity. True love was never one-sided. If you are the only one investing, the only one giving in, the only one making an effort, that's not love. It's emotional exploitation, and you are a willing accomplice to your own exploitation. You think this is bad? You haven't seen anything yet. The brutal reality is that when you act like a doormat, you're not just destroying your own value, you're destroying her ability to respect you. Women cannot love men they don't respect. It's impossible. Biologically impossible. Psychologically impossible. You can give all the gifts in the world, make all the concessions possible, always be available, and all you'll achieve is increasing contempt. Because deep down, at the most primitive level, she knows that a man of true value wouldn't behave like this. She knows exactly what she's doing. Maybe not consciously, maybe not with malice, but she knows. Every woman instinctively knows when she has a man wrapped around her finger, when she can ask for anything, when she can make any demand, when she can treat him any way she wants. And do you know why? Because you taught her. Every time you accepted unacceptable behavior, you said, "Do it again." Every time you gave in where you shouldn't have, you said, "You can ask for more." Every time you apologized without being at fault, you said, "I am the problem." Test this, today, now. Say no to the next non-essential request, not with anger, not with drama. Just, no, I can't do that. It won't work. I don't want to. Observe her reaction, the initial shock, the confusion. Why not? Don't justify, don't explain. Just stick to the no. If she explodes, creates drama, threatens, you have your answer about the type of relationship you have. Transactional, based on what you provide, not on who you are. If she respects it, even if surprised, you have hope. But you need to hold your ground, because the first no isn't just a test for her, it's a test for you, to see if you can uphold your own word, to see if you have the courage to be unpopular, to cause discomfort, to not be the nice guy. The choice is yours, but before you choose, let me tell you the rest of Charles's story. After that night of crying in the office, he spent 3 days in silence, processing, understanding, accepting reality. On the 4th day, Martha started with her usual criticisms at breakfast. You made the coffee weak again. You always do everything wrong. Charles put down his cup, slowly, looked into her eyes. I will no longer accept being treated this way. Simple, direct. 20 years of marriage summarized in one sentence. Martha laughed. What are you going to do? Leave me. Charles stood up, if necessary, and he left. He didn't slam the door, he didn't yell, he just left. They were the 3 longest days of her life, and the most liberating of his. You're thinking you've tried and it didn't work. Of course it didn't work. You tried once and reverted to the old pattern at the first sign of resistance. That's not change. That's a temporary performance. True change requires brutal consistency. It requires tolerating her discomfort. Your discomfort. The discomfort of the situation. It requires watching her create drama and not giving in. It requires valuing your time more than her comfort, and that's exactly what you can't do, yet. The protocol is simple, but it's not easy. First, identify your non-negotiable boundaries, not 20 things. 3, maximum 5, things you will no longer tolerate. Period. No negotiation. Public insults, yelling, comparisons to other men, invasion of your privacy, disrespect towards your family. Choose what hurts you the most, what diminishes you the most, what kills you most inside. Second, communicate these boundaries once, clearly, without justifying, without asking permission, without negotiating. I will no longer accept being insulted in public. I will no longer answer calls after 10 p.m. except in real emergencies. I will no longer cancel my commitments last minute. There. Said. It's not a discussion. It's a declaration. Third, reduce your unilateral investment by half, instantly. If you sent 10 messages, send 5. If you planned all the dates, plan half. If you paid for everything, pay for half. Create a vacuum for her to fill. If she doesn't fill it, you have your answer about how much she truly values the relationship. She will resist. They always resist. It's the final test. You don't love me anymore. You've changed. You're being selfish. You must have someone else. All emotional manipulation tactics will be used. Tears, yelling, threats, emotional blackmail, sex as a bargaining chip. Everything. It's at this moment that 99% of men give in. It's at this moment that they revert to the old pattern. It's at this moment that they confirm they are, and always will be, doormats. Fourth, prioritize your personal goals, gym, career, friends, hobbies, not as revenge, as life. You had a life before her. You need to have a life with her. If you only exist in the context of the relationship, you are not a man. You are an accessory, a complement, an add-on. Resume abandoned projects. Reconnect with lost friends. Go back to the gym. Read those books. Take that course. Build something. Anything. But build. Fifth, accept friction, conflict, discomfort. If you never fight, you don't have a relationship. You have a convenience agreement where you do everything and she tolerates your presence. Healthy conflict is growth. It's defining boundaries. It's negotiating needs. It's establishing mutual respect. Without conflict, you are two strangers sharing space, not a couple building something together. This isn't love. True love has friction. It has disagreement. It has negotiation. It has two complete individuals choosing to be together, not a parasite and a host in a sick symbiosis. Weak men explain, strong men act, desperate men beg, men of value leave, doormat men justify, respected men execute. Which one will you be? The question isn't rhetorical, it's existential. Because as you read this, your life is passing by. Every day you live as a doormat is a day stolen from your existence, a day you will never get back. Wait, it gets worse. The most devastating part isn't what she does to you. It's what you do to yourself. Every time you give in when you shouldn't, you kill a piece of your soul. Every time you apologize for existing, you confirm you don't deserve respect. Every time you prioritize her comfort over your integrity, you become less of a man. And the worst part? You know it. Deep down, you know. That's why you feel this emptiness, this hole in your chest that nothing fills, this constant restlessness, this feeling that something is wrong but you can't identify what. It's your masculinity dying. It's your essence dissolving. It's you disappearing, one concession at a time. That dull rage you feel, it's not at her, it's at yourself for allowing it, for accepting it, for selling yourself so cheaply, for trading your dignity for crumbs of affection, for begging for love from someone who despises you, for continuing in a situation that kills you inside. You're not angry at her, you're angry at yourself. And that anger is consuming you, poisoning you, killing you from the inside out. The system doesn't want you to wake up. The self-help industry sells you more communication, more understanding, more empathy. But it never tells you about self-respect. It never teaches you to say no. It never shows you that love without respect is emotional prostitution. Couples therapy focuses on meeting her needs, but never questions why your needs are invisible, why your opinion doesn't count, why your feelings are secondary. Popular culture glorifies the man who does everything for love, but never shows the silent contempt that grows with each unilateral sacrifice. It never shows the disgust in her eyes when you beg. It never shows the sexual boredom that comes from zero challenge. It never shows the inevitable end when she finds a man who doesn't grovel. You're being programmed to fail, and it's working perfectly. Charles made a decision. That night at dinner, after crying alone in his office, something changed. It wasn't dramatic. It was chemical, as if all the molecules of his being rearranged themselves. In the next argument, when Martha started yelling, he raised his hand, calmly. I will no longer accept being treated this way. She was in shock. For seconds, silence. Then, an explosion. She raised her voice. Who do you think you are? After everything I've done for you, you'd be nothing without me. He grabbed his keys and left. First time in 20 years. He didn't run. He walked, each step a declaration of independence. She called 17 times. He didn't answer. She sent messages, threats, blackmail. I'll tell everyone. I'll take everything in the divorce. The kids will stay with me. Then a change of tactic. Please come back. We can talk. I love you. He didn't reply. He returned the next day. Calm, centered, different. She tried to create drama, rehearsed tears. He held his ground. Either you treat me with respect or this ends. Silence. For the first time in years, silence. She saw it in his eyes. It wasn't a threat. It was a fact. He was ready to leave, ready to start over, ready to live. It took weeks, many discussions, a lot of discomfort, therapy, real therapy, not the kind that blames the man for everything, but something changed. She started to modulate her tone, to think before speaking, to ask instead of demanding, to negotiate instead of imposing. She started to see him, not the doormat she had shaped, the man he always was, and by a relational miracle she started to respect him. And with respect came something that had died years ago, desire. It wasn't easy, it wasn't fast, but it was necessary. You are trapped and you don't even realize it. Trapped in patterns, in habits, in normalized toxic dynamics. You think this is love because you've never seen true love. You think this is normal because everyone around you lives the same way. You think this is the most you deserve because your self-esteem is in the basement, buried along with your dreams, your ambitions, your masculinity. How many years have you already wasted, 5, 10, 20, living as a shadow of yourself, asking permission, to have an opinion, buying love with favors, negotiating respect with submission. The clock is ticking. Tick, tock, tick, tock. You are getting older. Every day you live as a doormat is a day stolen from your existence, a day you will never get back. There is a cost to change. There always is. John lost the comfort of predictability. Anna resisted. She created public drama, Instagram posts about men who change. She tried to manipulate with tears. I thought you were different. She tried with anger. You're a selfish jerk. She tried with sex, new lingerie, whispered promises. He maintained his new boundaries. It was uncomfortable. It was scary. There were moments of doubt, of almost giving in, of almost reverting to the old pattern. But he persisted, and something magical happened. Anna started to respect him. She started to value his time. She started to invest. She planned dates, paid for dinners, made surprises. For the first time in 3 years, she was investing, not out of obligation, out of desire, because now he had value. Now he was scarce. Now he was desired. But for the first time in years, he felt alive. Peter lost the fantasy. So of what if? Louisa would never be his in the old way. The always available emotional friend died. He had to die for the man to be born. It was a grieving process, accepting that 3 years were wasted, that all that emotional investment was thrown away, that he was used, manipulated, kept as an emotional reserve while she explored other options. But a man was born who doesn't accept crumbs, who doesn't wait his turn, who doesn't stay in the friend zone, who chooses women who choose him, who invests in those who invest in him, who has options because he has become a valuable option. Louisa? She tried to revert to the old pattern. We're friends, right? We've always been special to each other. Peter was clear. Either we're truly together, or we have nothing. She chose to stay, but now on his terms too. No longer unilateral, bilateral, no longer exploitation, a relationship. Charles almost lost his marriage. The change was brutal. Martha threatened divorce 3 times. I'll find someone who values me. You'll regret it. You'll die alone. He accepted the possibility, if necessary. And that's exactly what saved the marriage. The willingness to lose it. The detachment from the outcome. The acceptance that being alone is better than being in bad company. That self-respect is worth more than toxic companionship. The truth, nobody tells you. Sometimes the relationship doesn't survive your transformation, and that's okay. Better to be alone and whole than accompanied and dead inside. Better to rebuild from scratch than to continue in a rotten structure. Better the end of an illusion than a lifetime of lies. If she only loved you when you were a doormat, she never loved you. She loved the control. She loved the convenience. She loved the power. But she never loved you. You're thinking these are exceptions, that these men were lucky, that their women were different. That's exactly how your brain keeps you trapped. Creating excuses, exceptions, justifications. The universal truth is simple. Respect is non-negotiable. Either you have it or you don't. And if you don't have it, nothing else matters. All the gifts, all the favors, all the availability in the world won't buy respect. Respect is earned through boundaries, maintained through consistency, lost through weakness. You know I'm right. Deep down, beyond all the rationalizations, beyond all the excuses, beyond all the fears, you know you're living wrong. You know you're betraying yourself. You know you're dying inside. You know you deserve more. You know you can be more. You know you need to change. The question isn't whether you know. It's whether you're going to do something about it. How many times did she test your boundaries this week? How many times did you give in? How many times did you swallow your opinion to avoid conflict? How many times did you apologize for something that wasn't your fault? How many times did you cancel your plans to accommodate hers? How many times did you feel used, unvalued, invisible? The answers are screaming the truth you refuse to hear. You are being used, manipulated, controlled, disrespected, and you are allowing it, collaborating, facilitating. You are both victim and accomplice, prisoner and jailer. You are trapped in a cell you built yourself, holding a key you refuse to use. Weak men explain, strong men act. You have 2 options, only 2. Continue living as a doormat, dying a little more each day, hoping that something will magically change. Spoiler, it won't. The dynamic only gets worse. The disrespect only increases. The contempt only grows, until the day she finds someone she truly respects and discards you like the useful object you chose to be. Or start today, now, at this very moment, to reclaim your masculinity. One boundary at a time, one no at a time, one decision at a time. It will be uncomfortable, it will be scary. She will resist. You will want to give up. Your own inner demons will scream at you to go back to your comfort zone. That's exactly why most people remain trapped. That's exactly why most people die without ever having truly lived. And now comes the part that will truly destroy you. If you've made it this far and are still making excuses, still rationalizing why your case is different, still thinking you can continue the same way and get different results, then you've already chosen. You've chosen to remain a doormat. You've chosen the comfort of the known prison over the uncertainty of freedom. You've chosen the slow death of your masculinity over painful rebirth. And you know the worst part? She knows. She knows you don't have the courage to change, that you'll keep giving in, that she can use you, as she always has. She counts on your cowardice, depends on your weakness, feeds on your fear. You are predictable, controllable, disposable, and she knows it better than you do. This isn't love. It never was. Love doesn't humiliate. Love doesn't exploit. Love doesn't despise. Love doesn't use. What you have is an unequal transaction where you pay dearly for little, a negotiation where you always lose, a game where the rules change, but you always end up defeated. And you call it love because it's easier than admitting you're in an abusive relationship, that you are being abused. And, worse, that you allow the abuse. There are two types of men reading this. Those who will close this page and continue exactly as they were, hoping that knowledge without action will change something. These men will continue sending unanswered messages, continue apologizing for existing, continue buying love with favors, continue dying inside. In 5 years, they will be worse off. In 10 years, they will be destroyed. In 20 years, they will be empty shells of what they could have been, walking ghosts in their own lives, known as so-and-so's husband, never as themselves. The second type will feel something burn inside. Anger, not at her, at himself, for allowing it to get to this point, for having wasted so much time, for having sold himself so cheaply, for having lived so small. This man will identify one specific doormat behavior he does today, and he will stop. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not next year. Today, he will say no to something, anything, but he will say it. He will set a boundary, small, but real. He will reclaim a piece of his soul, minimal, but his own. It will be uncomfortable, it will be scary, but it will be the first step to becoming a man again, to respecting himself again, to living again. You have one life won, there's no replay, no second chance, no next incarnation where you'll do things differently. It's this one, now, unique, precious, limited. Every day you live as a doormat is a day stolen from your existence. You are literally trading your life for crumbs of validation, selling your soul for occasional sex, negotiating your masculinity for false peace. The price you are paying is your very essence, and the return? Growing contempt. The choice is yours. It always has been. Even when you pretended you had no choice. Even when you convinced yourself that this was just how it was. Even when you told yourself that all relationships are like this, you always had a choice. You chose not to choose. You chose passivity. You chose submission. You chose to be a doormat. And you can choose to stop, now. But let me be brutally honest about one thing. If you've made it this far, you already know the truth. You always knew, deep down. In that place you avoid visiting. In that dark corner of your consciousness, you always knew you were living wrong. That you were betraying yourself, that you were wasting your life. You were just waiting for someone to give you permission to change. Someone to validate your anger. Someone to confirm that you're not crazy. You're not. The system is, the dynamic is, but you allowed it, you collaborated, you were an accomplice to your own destruction. And that's exactly why you are the only one who can change this. She won't change for you. Why would she? Everything is perfect for her. She has a willing servant, a slave who pays to serve. The system won't change for you. Why would it? You are the perfect consumer, always insufficient, always needing more products, more advice, more therapy. Culture won't change for you. Why would it? You are the ideal citizen, obedient, submissive, controllable. Only you can change for yourself. And if you don't change, you will remain exactly where you are. A doormat, used, disrespected, invisible, dying inside while smiling on the outside, pretending everything is fine while your soul screams, playing the happy man while you rot from within. Is this the legacy you want to leave? Is this the life you want to have lived? Is this how you want to be remembered? I know this hurts. I know every word here has touched open wounds, buried truths, denied realities. I know you are recognizing yourself in every example, in every pattern, in every tactic, seeing your life reflected, your mistakes exposed, your weaknesses revealed, and I know part of you wants to deny it, wants to rationalize, wants to believe it's different. It's not. You are exactly like the millions of other men trapped in the same snare, living the same lie, dying the same slow death. The only difference is that now you know, now you see. Now you no longer have the excuse of ignorance, the blessing of unconsciousness, the comfort of not knowing. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you let it die in your mind like all the other times you promised to change, like all the other moments of clarity you wasted, like all the other opportunities for transformation you let slip away? Or will you finally have the courage to act, to say no, to set boundaries, to demand respect, to stop apologizing for existing, to stop buying love, to stop being a doormat, to stop wasting the only life you have? The clock is ticking. Tick-tock, tick-tock. You're getting older, your options diminishing, your energy running out. She is losing even more respect, if any is left. The dynamic is getting worse, if it can get any worse. And you are here reading this, knowing you need to change, but still hesitating, still afraid, still trapped in the comfort zone of known discomfort. How much more time will you waste? How much more can you waste? How many more years will you live like this? How many years do you have left? How long will you accept being treated as a second-class citizen in your own relationship, in your own life, in your own existence? Change begins with one decision. One, singular, specific. Identify now at this moment one doormat behavior you engage in. Just one. The one that bothers you the most, that diminishes you the most, that kills you most inside. And decide to stop. Today, now. It's not about her. It never was. It's about you reclaiming your dignity, your masculinity, your life. It's about you finally, after years, perhaps decades, deciding that you deserve respect. Not because someone gave it to you, but because you demanded it, because you set boundaries, because you stopped selling yourself short. This goes against everything you've been taught, against all cultural programming, against all the bad advice you've received, against the comfort of submission, against the fear of loneliness, against the fantasy that if you do more, try harder, give in more, she will finally value you. She won't, never will. Not until you value yourself first, not until you stop being a doormat, not until you become a man again. The choice is yours. It always has been. It always will be. You can close this now and continue exactly as you were. Send another needy message. Hi, how are you? Thinking of you. Missing you. Do another unilateral favor. Pick her up, drive her around, pay for her, apologize unnecessarily again. Sorry if I bothered you. Sorry for existing. Sorry for having needs. Give in one more time. On the movie, on the restaurant, on sex. Die a little more. Inside. In silence. Voluntarily. Or you can do something different, something scary, something necessary. You can choose to change. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, at this very moment. With a decision. A boundary. A no. I can't do that. I won't accept this. This isn't how I want to live. 3 sentences, 9 words. That can change everything. Or you can continue as you are. The choice, as always, is yours. Charles is in a respectful marriage now, not perfect. Respectful, there are discussions. There is friction. There are negotiations. But there is respect. Mutual. Real. Earned. John shares responsibilities. Financial. Emotional. Practical. It's a relationship, not servitude. Peter doesn't accept crumbs. Not from Louisa. Not from anyone. He chooses and is chosen. He invests and receives investment. He loves and is loved, truly. Not falsely. They paid the price. They faced the discomfort. They tolerated the resistance. They survived the threats. They held their ground. They walked through fire. And on the other side of fear, they found something they had forgotten existed: self-respect. And with it, her respect. And with respect, something even rarer: true love. Not the submissive love of the doormat. The love between equals, between partners, between complete humans. Do you want to stay where you are, or do you want to be where they are? Don't answer me. Answer yourself. But more important than answering, act. Because in the end, after everything that has been said here, after every truth exposed, after every pattern revealed, after every pain touched, after every hope offered, there is only one thing that matters. What are you going to do about it? Now, today, at this moment, with your one life, with your limited time, with your dignity at stake, with your masculinity dying, with your soul screaming, with your chance for change right in front of you. What will you do? The choice is yours. It always has been. It always will be. Choose wisely. Choose now. Choose to live.